There we go. We watched Demon City. It's on Netflix. I think the original title is Onigoroshi. Um, I wanted to like it, honestly. It's got all the hallmarks of being something pretty good, and I think 20 years ago this would have been like a real cult sensation. And at this point, I think we've just aged out of this type of action. If you watch the opening scene and think you can watch the rest of the movie, you're probably fine. It's about an hour and, I don't know, like 45 minutes or so. It's fine. I think that it needs to be about 30 or 20 minutes shorter. It's just got a lot going on, and a lot of it feels like kind of bloated. Yeah, it's an hour and 46 minutes, so I think if you could cut it down to about an hour and some change, you'd be fine, but over that it feels a little corny. Honestly, the whole opening scene is a little rough. Part of what makes it so odd is this weakness in the movie has to do with guns. There's just a ton of guns. And if you have 10 men holding guns and they're pointing them at some guy with an axe or like a machete type thing, it's corny for them to lose. It's just not handled well in the way it's portrayed. So, I don't know, the action just needs tuned up a little bit. But again, if you'd have just removed all the guns, it would have been probably okay. Overall, it's like a pretty stock revenge story. The guy survives getting murdered when his wife and kid get murdered. And then in the movie, it's 12 years later. I looked up the manga and read like 3 or 4 chapters. In the manga, it's like 15 years. Even in the movie, it seems like a long time for him to be sitting in a wheelchair and then get up and be running around. There's no like Kill Bill recovery phase, which, thank God, I don't know if I could sit through 10, 12 more minutes of this movie. It was fun, but it has well outlived its welcome by the time you get to that point. Aesthetically, I like the movie. I think it does a great job. I love the set pieces. I love the way things are going. Even some of the characterization is pretty good. I love a handful of like bosses that you have to go up against in a film that make up a criminal organization, and I like the way it's organized. There's something super bananas about a guy showing up from your past, you doing a gigantic rip of cocaine. By the time he gets to your office, you're standing outside looking up, and you blow it all up. There's an extra weird part where that guy just walks out of the explosion. It's not really explained, it's not handled super well, but there is a lot of aura points there, as the kids say, so I guess that's kind of cool, but overall, it's a little odd, and it's just not handled super well. The big highlights of the movie are some of the cool action scenes and such like that. The protagonist is largely quiet, which is funny because in the manga chapters I read, he's just yapping all the time. From what I can tell, in the manga, he's like objectively a bad guy. Like in the movie, he seems like he's a hitman who's just trying to get out of the business like a John Wick. And it's really just not the case in the manga. It kind of just seems like he was some dude who got like too high up and, you gotta pinch that guy. The antagonist has this weird obsession with creating a demon, and even in like their climax fight, he's just like trying to provoke the guy until he kills him. It's super corny. I want to say that there's got to be something about it in the manga, but I couldn't find enough of it translated, and I really wasn't that compelled to read a ton of it. Weirdly, there's like this machete weapon he carries for the very beginning of the movie, and then past like the, 60% mark, like his main weapon. Oddly, does not appear to be like his thing in the manga. I think he's just got like a regular hatchet. Which is super odd because it's got like this weird rope. He like throws it a couple of times, then yanks it back. But he only does it a couple of times in the movie, so, there's that. Overall, aesthetically it's fine. The action scenes need a little work, and it just runs on a little long for me. I want to like it. I want to love it. Apparently in the manga there's some sort of supernatural component to it that I don't know if I would appreciate. It's just not for me. If this had changed genre slightly and been like a little more over the top, I probably would have been more into it, but for the most part, I think this is going to be like a 4 or 5 for me. I enjoyed watching it, but by the end, I was ready for it to be over. The journey of the daughter almost seems like it should be the POV, and it's just not. I understand that, like, with movies like this, it's almost never going to be the case, but you spend so much time with that main character that it's almost weird that he barely talks to anybody. Just like a little bit of dialogue or, grumbling something once in a while. So, it was fine, it was fun, but it's not going to be The Crow, it's not going to be John Wick, and it's not going to be Ong Bak. It just lacks the something to set it aside, other than like the Demon Mask aesthetic, which that's fine, but it can't be your only point. I had a good time, not a great time. If you like this kind of movie, give it a shot. But if you can't get past that like first action scene on the beach house, that's about as good as it gets, really. So I did look up like a summary of the manga because I was kind of curious about a couple things. And there's definitely like a supernatural component of it. But another thing I wanted to touch on is the events of the movie, after like the coma section, are basically like 2.5 days. And that's not enough days. In the manga, apparently it's 5 days, but there's a bunch of bananas stuff going on. There's a whole section about like the politics of the city and other gangs and stuff, and for me, that would have been way beyond bloat in the movie, but it's not enough days. I can only suspend my disbelief so far, but I don't know. I wanted to like it more. I kind of hoped it'd be like kind of more bananas, but yeah, just reporting back. You kids be good, have fun.
If you like this content, I'm supposed to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. I think like is here, and comment is probably down there, and subscribe over there somewhere too, I think. I don't know how many times this like snippet is gonna make it into a video. Everybody says you should do it this way, and I always thought it was just like an annoying thing other YouTubers did. And as you know, I am bad at editing, so if you like it, great, I'm happy for you. If you don't like it, I'm sorry.